right. I will leave the comment. Oh, no, that's that. I don't leave comments there. I go here. I had somebody waiting, but they're gone. So we're live on YouTube. Welcome, everybody. We're talking about the Kentucky Bourbon Festival tonight. And not festival, trail. Sorry about that. I'm getting us set up. We'll get set up and ready to go. Uh-huh. Yeah, looking good. Scotchy Bourbon Boys. There we go. All right. I'm going to check out, make sure everything's happening on YouTube, guys. Welcome to the Scotchy Bourbon Boys podcast for Kentucky Bourbon Festival. This one, and it's the Kentucky Bourbon. I'm going to let me. The Kentucky Bourbon Trail. There we go. I sent that off to Ross. Wow, already 220. That was my arm. It's cramped in here. Sorry, folks. All right, we're ready to go. I got to check YouTube. That's what I'm checking now. Videos. Live. No, we got to just go right here. Here. Make sure. There it is. Live. There I am with the on air. I think that works a lot better than it. Yep, perfect. Welcome. Unbelievable. Welcome to my live. We are talking about the Kentucky Bourbon Trail tonight. Make sure you tell us where you're from and what you're sipping on. We do monitor the comments. Make sure that if you want your comment highlighted, that you super chat. Oh, God, this is just starting to really irritate me. All right. Make sure if you want to leave a comment that I see, you use the super chat. Also, the leaderboard is up and running. There we go. I got a little bit too much. I got to turn it all the way down. Got that. There we go. I can monitor the comments. Welcome, everybody, to the Scotchy Bourbon Boys podcast. We got Rick Dorn on. He's drinking his very own sour tonight, proof 122, 121. All right. We're about to get ready. I just want to go over real quick. Welcome, everybody, to the Kentucky Bourbon Trail podcast. We'll get it really going. But in the meantime, let's talk about our podcast sponsor, Whiskey Thief Distilling Company, is part of this, the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. You got to check them out. What happens at Whiskey Thief is unlike anywhere else on the trail. It is a barrel pick all day, every day. For the price of admission, you get to go in, you get to you get to taste from 5 barrels. And if you like one, you can thief your bottle for yourself. They sell 375, 750s. Fantastic experience. They got live music on Fridays and Saturday nights. They've got out at the farm. They've got a food truck out there. Fantastic. What would you say? Outdoor entertainment area, fire pits. They've got, cornhole. They got the whole thing. And it's crowded there all the time. So when you're there, you're going to meet other people It's so conducive for meeting other people on the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. So you got to check out Whiskey Thief plus their new location that they are in Louisville in the New Lou area. Check them out. Both places fantastic. Whiskey Thief Distilling Company. Then make sure that if you're in your local liquor store, Middle West Spirits is in 48 states. Right now, the Michelin line, which is the defining brand of Middle West Spirits, check it out. They've got their cast strengths out there. I was just in Michigan and saw the cast strength weeded bourbon on the shelf there. You got to check that one out. And then it's a weeded 4-grain bourbon. And then also check out their cast strength wheat whiskey, and their cast strength pumpernickel rye. What Ryan's doing there in Columbus, Ohio is fantastic. He's taken his craft distillery to another level. He's building and built another distillery. It's going to be a fantastic campus once it's open. Right now, it is a working distillery, but you still can visit their craft distillery and check out the service bar restaurant there, the best in fine dining and top notch bourbon and whiskey. Make sure you check out Middle West Spirits. And then we've got this William Dalton, which is the Spirit of French Lick. You got to check them out in French Lick, Indiana. Anytime. It's a fantastic town with a fantastic history. Alan Bishop, the former distiller, all of his whiskey is still there at the Spirit of French Lick. You got to check it out. This is the William Dalton. This is one of our barrel picks. If you're interested in getting a taste of it, contact me and I will set you up. And then also there's Rosewood Bourbon and Rise. Make sure that you check that out. Jason Giles is doing a fantastic job. He basically distills, he brings down, purchases whiskey from Kentucky and Indiana, brings it down 900 some miles on a semi, and he ages it for one season in that Texas heat. And then he puts out the barrels, and they are fantastic. You got to check it out. If you see Rosewood Bourbon or Rye, you got to pull that off the shelf because that is not something that's all out there regularly. And then also Alan Bishop, my heart goes out to you, man. Hopefully, we got to hopefully can figure something out. I know the floods. We saw the pictures, and I'm just so glad that you and your family are safe. Plus, you said the chickens survived somehow, so that was great. But if anybody's on Facebook and you see and you know Alan, the posts were quite stunning. That was a lot of water, and I'm just happy that everybody's safe. And brother, we as a community will group together and we got to do something and see what we can do to help you out. So Alan Bishop is the master distiller at Old Homestead Distillery in Indiana on Patoka Lake. You got to check out his One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute on YouTube, and then also his If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything podcast, where he combines the best of both the spirits worlds, the spirits industry, and the spiritual afterlife world, where he combines the two. And it's a spectacular podcast, so you got to check that out. So there we go. I think we're ready to get to, right now, ready to rock and roll. Tonight's podcast is the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, something that is personal to me, and one of the reasons why I got to get into podcasting and talking about whiskey and promoting brands, because in 2019 I went down there. So let's get this thing going. There'll be about a 50-second quiet time, and then we'll go right into the theme song. All right, here we go. 10-4. All right. Welcome back to another podcast of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Tiny here with myself. Very excited tonight to talk about the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. And I've got a bunch of announcements, and I've got tons of stuff going on. Lots of people there. I'm going to be monitoring comments, and also on YouTube and on Facebook. So feel free tonight. I know on YouTube, check out the super chat, and also there is a leaders board for anybody who's watching. So we started that up. I don't know how that works, but we'll see what happens. I'm willing to try pretty much anything, and so excited to be here tonight. Remember, www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all your Scotchy Bourbon Boys merchandise. We've got Glens, we got t-shirts. Check it out, find out about our bios, and then also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, and also all the major podcast formats for audio, and mainly Apple, iHeart, Spotify. But no matter how you watch us or listen to us, make sure that you like, listen, subscribe, comment, and leave good feedback. That good feedback means so much to us. All right. So got through that. Everything looking good tonight. It's going to be a pretty cool podcast because one, I wanted to talk a little bit about what the Kentucky Bourbon Trail is and means to me, because it's pretty much what got the podcast started, and it had to do with a combination between the Kentucky Bourbon Festival and the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. So to go a lead up on how this all happened. So a lot of you already have heard the story many times before, but initially what got me into a friend of mine. We would hang out, and he was a bourbon fan. I was into absinthe as being an artist, and one of the things that absinthe, and I still to this day do some artwork, but absinthe is a very unique spirit in why writers and artists used it throughout time because of the thujon in the wormwood. One of the things, the alcohol content is always high, and you basically mix it with water. And what happens is you get buzzed drinking absinthe, but you don't lose your motor control. Now, if you're just drinking absinthe, this is an actual fact. So I always drank absinthe when I was painting. But if I was drinking absinthe in the afternoon and I painted, I would switch over to something else. And my friend, who also drank absinthe with me to some extent, uh, was into bourbon. So we'd give each other presents, and this was probably about 2013, 14. uh E.H. Taylor was on the shelf. We small batch. I didn't really know a lot about. Basil Hayden was something that we would grab and drink, and then also like the Evan Williams. He loved Evan Williams and Jim Beam, and those type of things. That's kind of what I was into, but I wasn't into the relaxation. But because I was into absinthe, and then at one point, what happens with absinthe is you only need two, and anything else after that it doesn't do anything else. It's just, if you have three or four, you're just kind of wasting your time spinning your wheels. You might see the green fairy, but that's one of the reasons why that's some people drank it and it had harsh results because of that it just doesn't keep going, put it that way. So when I got into so I bought a calendar in 2000, I want to say 2018, and it was had to be like in January because I was at Books a Million and it was a whiskey calendar. And one of the things about that whiskey calendar was that it was a desktop calendar and it gave out facts, little things. It told you what fights were. It told you what It told you what the heads, the tails, and the hearts in the fights. And you know, I mean, the heart of the run, the fights, and then I think the four shots, things like that. Gave you tons of information on whiskey, but it also gave you critiques and reviews of bottles from Scotch to bourbon to Irish whiskey. They were all there. And as we were going forward, I had a young man who worked with me who was initially Young Nose, who formed the podcast with me. We're reading these calendar things, and all of a sudden they're like creme brulee and cherry pie and peach cobbler, and we're just like, BS, bullshit. So we started buying some bottles to that they had. We would go to the liquor store and find them, and sure enough, there was these flavors. So we formed a little whiskey group amongst the workers at where I work, and it was 5 or 6 of us. And the same thing with a friend that I was drinking the absinthe and bourbon with. He was in it, and a couple other people. And so we started doing that. And then in September of 2018, on my birthday, September 21st, the actual, let's see, Mike Likett, how many, whatever, the actual, um, my birthday, September 21st, there was a thing that said every third week in Kentucky, there was a Kentucky Bourbon Festival. So I found out about that. And I looked and I read it. And so this is September. And in October, my wife says to me, there's a conference in Lexington, and they say that the Kentucky Bourbon Festival is the weekend before, and that whatever. And so I said, oh, I had read about that. So we decided we were going to go down to the Kentucky Bourbon Festival Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then Monday was an off day. Then Tuesday we would go to Lexington, and Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday was our conference. So for a year, I saved everything I had. I had like 5 grand to go down. I saved every penny. I put it away. I wanted to go to the Kentucky Bourbon Festival and buy bourbon and whiskey that I wanted. And as we were going through that year, the group was getting together. We were buying certain things. We met Super Nash, and no, not yet. We hadn't met Super Nash, but we were still doing our little thing. I signed up for no, not yet. So we get around to the summer of 2019, and I had, bought a new shelf. I had done what else? I had bought a shelf for the bourbon that I had been buying, and we had had a couple tastings with the guys, and so it was going. So I had done an art video blog for 7 years from 2010 to 2017, and so I had some podcasting equipment and experience doing this. So we go to Kentucky Bourbon Festival, and I find out about the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. So I plotted out all the distilleries on a map at work, and then I basically figured out what I was going to do. And at the time, the Kentucky Bourbon Trail consisted of 16 different distilleries plus 2 distilleries. Four Roses and Jim Beam had 2 locations for a total of 18 different places to go. There was no craft distillery tour yet. So when we went, I was going and made it so that in that Thursday through the following that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, those 9 days, I believe it was, I was going to complete the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. And that's where we get uh onto this part of the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. What the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, I've got a history right here. So let's go over the history. I don't know if I need to share it. You guys don't need to. I'll put the history over here. Let's see if I. Hey, that's bizarre. It won't go. There we go. Let's see if I can get that history in. Okay. A chronological history of the Bourbon Trail. In 1999, the original members of the Kentucky Bourbon Trail were Buffalo Trace in Frankfort, Four Roses in Lawrenceburg, Heaven Hill in Bardstown, Jim Beam in Claremont, Maker's Mark in Laredo, Wild Turkey in Lawrenceburg, and Woodford Reserve in Frankfort. The 8 distilleries to join the Kentucky Bourbon Trail is the one that the 8th distillery to join the Kentucky Bourbon Trail is the one that most people forget or do not recognize. In 2008, the Tom Moore Distillery in Bardstown joined the trail. At this point, 8 total distilleries were officially members of the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. So then in 2009, Buffalo Trace and Tom Moore, both distilleries owned by Sazerac Corporation, opted out of the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. The Tom Moore Distillery is now known as the Barton 1792. So that's in 2009, Buffalo Trace and Barton's. Now, the reason for them dropping out was 100% based off of the reason for them dropping out was 100% based off of them. What Buffalo Trace explained is they didn't want to pay the trail fees to get people to come to their place. They offered free tours and tastings and still do to this day. So you don't have to pay for your tours and tastings at Buffalo Trace, and that's where they put the money into the people that come, and they're not part of the trail. Even though I'm going to tell you, they might not be an active part of the trail, but they definitely are part of the Kentucky Bourbon Trail when people are down there. I don't think anybody in the area of Frankfort, if they're going around there, that they're going to skip Buffalo Trace. It just doesn't happen. But it's not part of the tour of the accomplishment. Then in 2012 was a year of expansion. In 2012, Town Branch Distillery joined the Kentucky Bourbon Trail in the same class as the original distilleries based on size and volume. However, this is the same year that the Kentucky Bourbon Trail Craft Tour began with the original members of Barrel House in Lexington, Limestone Branch in Lebanon, Old Pogue in Maysville, Willett in Bardstown, MB Roland in Pembroke, Kaiser Artisan in Bowling Green, and finally Silver Trail Distillery in Hardin. Silver Trail closed in 2015, and Kaiser Artisan closed in 2018. 2014. Despite being in the Louisville, Kentucky area, Evan Williams and Stitzel Weller could not have been more different. Stitzel Weller, the longtime home of Old Fitzgerald, with the Weller family's history and Pappy Van Winkle, is an old school experience. The Evan Williams experience is modern with an almost Disney type vibe. Both joined Kentucky Bourbon Trail in 2014. Another member joined the Kentucky Bourbon Craft Tour in Northern Kentucky. New Riff in Newport, Kentucky, also joined in 2014. Then Hartfield and Company, which we were at in Paris, based in Paris, Kentucky, became a member of the Craft Tour, along with the Kentucky Peerless in Louisville in 2015. 2016, Kentucky Artisan in Crestwood joined the Kentucky Bourbon Trail Craft Tour. Kentucky Artisan is a comfortable distillery and the home to Jefferson's Bourbon, but I believe the Jefferson's Distillery and Ocean's Distillery, which opened across the street from Limestone Branch, is now they have their own distillery. So in 2017, two distilleries, Boone County in Independence and Bluegrass Distillers in Lexington, joined the craft tour. On the larger side, Louisville Distilling Company joined. You will recognize them by the name of Angel's Envy. 2018 was a big year for large distilleries. Bardstown Bourbon Company joined the trail along with Lux Row in Bardstown, Kentucky. Then moving north and west, Old Forester joined in Louisville, and Green River Distillery, which in Owensboro at the time, Green River was known as Ozzie Tyler brand. 2019 brought an explosion of new members, and this is where I come in to the original Kentucky Bourbon Trail and the craft tour. On the Kentucky Bourbon Trail side, Bullet joined in Shively, with Michter's and Rabbit Hole opening in Louisville. Joining the Kentucky Bourbon Trail craft tour were Boundary Oak in Radcliffe, Casey Jones in Hopkinsville, Dueling Grounds in Franklin, Second Sight Spirits in Ludlow, Kentucky Neely Family Distillery in Sparta, Preservation in historic Bardstown, Kentucky, and James E. Pepper in Lexington. So now we're talking 2019. This is the year that I went on the trail. So this is the year I went on the trail, and there, like I said, there were 16 stamps with 18 places to visit. I visited all 18, plus Limestone Branch, Preservation. I want to say Neely. Wait, did I get no? I'd had it. I didn't do Neely that year. I had met Nash already, and we in 2019 we had it. So it would have been Limestone Branch, Neely. No, not Limestone Branch, Preservation. I went to, and then I also went to the Barrel House in Lexington and James E. Pepper. I didn't really know too much about the craft distillery tour, but I went to. Those are all the different places. And Ozzie Tyler is in Owensboro, which is like 2 hours from Bardstown and Louisville. So that one was the tricky one, and I figured it out. So while we were initially at the Kentucky Bourbon, we went down on a Thursday night, stayed Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and there was no bourbon in the air. So the actual Kentucky Bourbon Festival was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We had VIP passes, but in the meantime, we went to, I want to say, we got tours. When we came in, we toured Buffalo Trace on Thursday night. That didn't count. And then we came down to where we were staying. I want to say, okay, so this is the, I got all the dates. September 24th was Maker's Mark. Monday, September 23rd. I'll see when I got it. 28th. Sunday the 22nd. 26th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 23rd is the Monday. 24th was Thursday. 23rd was Monday. 23rd, 27th, Saturday, September 21st, and Monday, September 23rd and 20th. So the first place that we went was Heaven Hill on the Saturday, and that was I did notes on it. It's a little book that you got. The cover's missing on the book because it's in a frame. Let's see. There might be a share. Let's just see if I can pull photos up. Hold on. Photos. There we go. I'm pretty sure it would have. Let's see. I don't know why we're there. Is this? Yep, there it is. I took the photo. All right, so we can go to share screen real quick. Everybody on the audio does not see this, but there it is. Share. All right, you can see that. I will pull this across to here. Nope, that didn't allow me to do, did it? Nope. How about that? All right, so there we go. You can all can see it. This is the map. I wonder if can I do it? Okay. All right. This is the map, and it tells you all the different distilleries. This is the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, all the distilleries and how far they were away. But you can see in the share screen right here that the Kentucky Bourbon Trail that's the little booklet, and there's the stamp that I got for doing the full trail. So I took the covers off this one and it's in there because that's the full trail. And then this is another book that I had that I put into the thing. Here's the Kentucky Bourbon Trail map, and here's all the different and their distances between each other. So that was kind of cool. All right, we'll stop sharing here, but you can see that the book and the map and everything, that was cool. So back then, let's get back over here, make sure. Roger, second straight in Ludlow is a really good time. Second site in Ludlow. Oh, that's kind of cool. Good to know. Roger, I got to talk to you about the tour coming up. So that should be fun. And then let's see, where are we at? Okay. So the first one was Heaven Hill. We took the tour and went through. And honestly, the first Kentucky tour was the night before at Buffalo Trace, and now we're at Heaven Hill on the 21st. As far as the first stamp on the trail for me, which was Saturday, it said, "My birthday, great tour. Picked up 4 tasting mini Glens, and they're actually, I believe." There's probably one of them back there. Back here, there is definitely a Heaven Hill mini Glen that I picked up. That's probably the first version of a Glen that I had. So that's kind of cool. So then the next one was Sunday. Okay, so Saturday night at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival was the gala. Full. I purchased the tux. I went. Me and Roxy went in a tux, and what happened was we bought the VIP for the gala, which was from 7 to 8 early access. You got a Glencairn. I still have the Glencairn from that, but the food was just grapes and cheeses and whatnot, and the 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 pours were spectacular. You got to have a pour of wild turkey. What was it? What's the one in the box? I'm just for some reason. It's not master. What is it? Help me out there. Anyways, it was a special pour of wild turkey with Jimmy Russell. That's the first time I met Fred and Freddie. I had met at the Friday night and had them sign my painting the night before at their dinner. So at the Saturday night at the gala, I was talking to Freddie. I really met Sandy that night. That was just spectacular, but I overdid it. So Sunday morning rolls around and I'm okay, but after how much I had, too many pours, and I was overserved myself. I overserved myself. I think what really got me was I got to taste Basil Hayden uh, Caribbean rye, and it a guy like came over and told me to taste it, and then I had another one, and I learned a lesson, anyways. But I was all right. But we had to do brunch on Sunday because the festival was over. Because Saturday night the festival, so we met Saturday. Okay, so we met friends from Kentucky at Rabbit. We actually met them at a place for brunch, and then after brunch, the Packers were playing and everything, and we went there. We went to Rabbit Hole. So now it's about the tour and the tasting. It's I had it's I like I said, I learned a lesson. All I can say is I overdid it to the point where I was okay the next day because of what happened. And but I still wasn't feeling great. And it's about noon. The Packers are playing. The people from Kentucky are Packer friends. We go into the bar. I'm not drinking anything. They're drinking on the brunch. They're having Belizes and they're having no Bellinis and what's the other? They're just having breakfast or orange juice and it was crazy. But I was like, nope, I'm just gonna stick with orange juice. I'm fine. Everything's good. And then we go to the bar and we're sitting there and I still don't order anything. And my friends has a couple beers. And all of a sudden, what wouldn't you know, the beer happens because another table orders it and the guy's a jerk and the waitress liked our table with my wife and his wife, and, she's like, "Does anybody here want a beer?" They ordered it and whatever, and I'm like and my friend looks at me, I'm like, "Okay." So I had a beer, and then we went to Rabbit Hole that Sunday, and, for here's what it says, "Met friends." I don't know why I'm trying to do this in the dark, but I will hit oh, wow. "Met friends for lunch, for late brunch, and then took tour and closed the place. Picked up a cocktail shaker and a strainer." So we go to Rabbit Hole, and Adam Edwards is our tour guide. He takes us through, takes us up. It's about 5 o'clock. The place closed at 7, but I had a whiskey sour, probably one of the best whiskey sours. Plus, I did the tasting, and we picked up the Rabbit Hole experience. So now we're looking for Monday the 23rd. So there we go. We got two of the 18. So Monday the 23rd, uh, my wife Roxy and I went to Louisville. We're staying in Bardstown. We went to Louisville, and on Monday we didn't realize it, but um, we stopped in. All tours were booked online, but it had a 3:30 opening at Angel's Envy. So we went there. We went to Angel's Envy, took the tour, got the stamp. Angel's Envy at the time, I liked the place. I always liked the place. We've been back a couple times. It's a super nice place. And then we went to Bullet, picked up a bottle of IW. Okay, so Bullet at Stitzel-Weller is the old Stitzel-Weller distillery, and we did the tour there. And I picked up a bottle of IW Harper 15-year-old plus a Stitzel-Weller hat, which I still have. People were nice and very cool to see all the old offices. So Bullet in the old offices at Stitzel-Weller had replicated the offices from the history of Bullet and had those offices right there at the Stitzel-Weller distillery. Plus, anybody knows how Blade and Bow works. Uh, Blade and Bow is made also IW Harper, Blade and Bow, but Blade and Bow has keys, and when you become part of the key club, your glass goes up, and you can anytime you tour after that, you can pick it up or leave it on the shelf. It's really a cool kind of thing. So we learned that at Bullet. So this is the tour, and so that's Monday. Then we also went to the Evan Williams experience, which was really cool. Coolest tour. Loved the old world replication and reenactment, plus 1960s tasting bar. Very cool. Picked up a bottle of Evan Williams Master Distillers. And Master Distiller is still one of my favorite bourbons. That's the first time I got to taste it. So that was really cool. Then I believe there was one that was closed that it was closed on Monday and we had to go back, which was In Michter's, we stopped in on the gift shop. At that time, I really didn't know what Michter's was. Got the stamp and we got out. And Old Forester was closed. Okay, so Old Forester was closed. So what happened was that was Monday. So we go back from Louisville and we didn't get to go. So I'm like, that's crazy. I could be in trouble. This could be the reason why I don't complete the trail. So Tuesday is the day we transfer to Lexington, and I convinced my wife, I convinced Roxy that I need this. So we go up to Old Forester first, right? We leave our Airbnb and head to Old Forester, and it says drove back to Louisville to visit this distillery, bought gifts for brother-in-law and 2 highball glasses with measuring points. I still love those highball glasses to date, still have it. And so that's what we picked up Tuesday the 24th. Now, here we go. Woodford 27th, Monday, September 23rd. Okay. Wild Turkey, that's on the end. Where's the makers? So also, so what happened that morning was we had Maker's Mark booked because so the 24th is also, we went to Lux Row. I got oh my god, and got a keychain. Okay, so Lux Row, I had no idea what they were. So this is what it was. Got a keychain and recognized that they make Ezra Brooks. So there you go. Lux Row, Ezra Brooks. That's what I came away with. Got that stamp. Then we went and had a tour. Wow, great tour, scenic distillery, dipped my own bottle of Maker's Select, and got my ambassador pin. Rachel dip too, because in August I had what would you say? I had July I signed up for of 2019 for the Ambassador Club. So I got my pin. So then we finished up at Old Forester, and then we headed to Lexington. So Lexington is a whole different thing for me because now my wife is going to go to, so what she does is she is now going to her thing. So the first day was Wednesday of her was the opening day for her thing. So I walked from the hotel, nice walk, took the distillery tour and tasting. The single barrel was very good. Great tour guide. She was awesome. And it was from Town Branch. So that's what I caught on the 25th. Now, that's Wednesday the 25th. That would have been, that's the 27th. Wild Turkey was the 27th. Woodford was the 27th. And so was, I forgot on Bardstown. That's the one I forgot. So also on Tuesday, the day before, we had lunch, a brisket sandwich and fried chicken. Were high profile. Tasting was good and got the Norland whiskey glasses set of 2. And that's what we did. So we went from, I think we went Lux Row, Maker's Mark, Bardstown Bourbon Company, up to Old Forester. So that day, that Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday with my wife was spectacular, but we did 4 places. Now, then I went to Town Branch, but that day also I went to James E. Pepper and the Barrel House that were right across the street from Town Branch, even though it's like a highway you have to cross over. Now, so I'm left with that Wednesday. So Thursday, I also the Jim Beam experience that happened on Monday when we were up in Louisville. We went to the Jim Beam distillery, and there you go. I picked up this personalized bottle, and so you guys can see it. It's the Urban Stillhouse Select. I had it. Um, this is my birthday, so well, I had it engraved for my birthday. So this one says "Aged to Perfection, Jeff Mueller, September 21st, 2019." So you've got that right there. I put my birthday on it. It's still not been opened. It's a special bottle that was engraved. Then on this day, that was up at the Urban Stillhouse. Now this Thursday was a big day for me because I had a luncheon with Fred and Freddie. No, so first we had the dinner at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. That was a dinner on Friday night. Then Saturday night was the gala, but this Thursday night was lunch with them. So here, um, and I also bought a Jim Beam decanter, but at the Urban Stillhouse, lunch with Fred and Freddie. No, tour was amazing. I got to use the bung hammer and hit the barrel and pop open the bung. And then they thieved right from a 6-year Jim Beam Black. So there we go. So we're kind of like completely I mean, so that Thursday, I believe the lunch was from 12 to 2. So I want to say so I knew that Ozzy Tyler, this was the hard one, that was 2 hours away. So I got out of there right away. Even though Fred and Freddie were willing and talking to me, I had to leave, jump in the car, and drive the 2 hours. Now, I think it was like till 3. So that would have put me at Ozzy Tyler at 5. I had called ahead and I realized Owensboro's in a different time zone. So it really put me there at 4, and the last tour was at 4. So I got there right at 4, joined the tour already in progress, and got the stamp for Ozzy Tyler. But the hard part about this Ozzy Tyler, here it was, drove 2 hours across Kentucky. The people there stayed open late for me. Great people, interesting process. That's where I learned about their rapid aging and their rosy, which was just a total disaster. They eventually sold and became Green River, and Green River has some damn good stock of what they were doing that they weren't rapid aging. So it's really kind of cool. But the hard part about that is when the tour was over at 5 o'clock, which is technically 6 o'clock, I now had a 3-hour drive back to Lexington. That's where we were staying because it's 2 hours back to Bardstown and 1 hour to Lexington. So it was a long day, but I got the stamp. As you can see, the Ozzy Tyler stamp right there. And then finished up the next day with a tour. That is where I met the tour guide who was a podcaster, and I still his name is eluding me. I believe he still podcasts, but he took us to the tour started, I believe, at Wild Turkey in the morning. They picked me up. Last day started with Bottled and Bond tour. This was the first stop, only tasting. I owned all the bourbon already. Rare Breed is one of my favorites. 24.99 hoodie, great score. So I got a Wild Turkey hoodie. I still have that hoodie. And then the next place that we stopped was Four Roses. Now, when I was in where is Four Roses? Let's talk about this. They took us there. We did a tour, and actually, the master distiller was in not okay. Four Roses. Second stop bus tour. Tasting was awesome. 3 guys I met on tour. I became the fourth. Bought a bottle of Four Roses Single Barrel Select for from the gift shop. Oh, yeah, it was a Single Barrel Select for the gift shop only. Scored a Bourbon Trail hoodie, so I got a Kentucky Bourbon Trail hoodie. And then the last place was Woodford, and the Woodford Reserve, which was the second in there, which finished off the trail. It's funny because there it is. September 27th, 2009, the last stop on the bus tour. Scored a bottle of bourbon and gold engraved it. Got a bung on the tour, and my rock. I got rocks for cooling bourbon. Finished with the Kentucky Mule, which I still have the glass from there, the copper glass from that Kentucky Mule. But this is the bottle that got engraved. It says, actually, it's private stock of Jeff Mueller, September 27th, 2019. It's signed, it's selected by master distiller Chris Morris, 45.2. So it was the proprietary batch. So that one I got. So what I wanted to do is show everybody Saturday. It's all over, and we go to, I believe, I want to say in Lexington, we go to the courthouse, and I was able to pick up this fantastic Kentucky Bourbon Trail, which says 16 distilleries finished 2019. The world famous Kentucky Bourbon Trail. So I was able to secure this glass. I figured out 972 miles. So that was the tour in. I'm going to have a sip of this. At one point this got opened. I didn't open it. Sometime it got open. So this is from 2019. It is a Woodford Reserve, and I'm going to sip that with you guys. But one of the cool things, I should be monitoring the. Nope. One of the cool things, the glass, I love the glass. That's kind of what I was going after it. And at the bottom, it says Kentucky Bourbon Trail. I really am proud of this glass. Randy, I look at it when this is the Eagle Scout Award badge for bourbon. I mean, the trail, 907, it was a commitment. You guys kind of saw at one point everything didn't work out, and I had to go back, and I'm sorry for, I can't believe that I don't have up. All right, so let's talk about the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. I finished it in 2019. The craft trail, I wonder, it failed to, am I off? That's there. Let's see, do I go backwards on that one? Is there a back? What happened here? Where's my reel? Okay. Failed to open page. All right. There was a history. I had that. I do not think that's right. Nope. All right, I got to go back. I guess I got to go find is the history over here? Could be. No, I had dumped it over there. So I should be. Okay, that's where it should be. Okay, let's go back over here. Let's go to this. Go to that. There we go. So that's 2019. 2020. The newest member of the Kentucky Bourbon Trail was Wilderness Trail. They moved from the craft tour to the Kentucky Bourbon Trail because of the increase of their volume of production. Dansville, Kentucky is the home of Wilderness Trail. 2021. This year saw impressive growth on the craft tour side. Things joining 21s were Copper and Kings in Louisville, known for their brandy. The Bard, located in Graham, Kentucky, is home to Cinder And smoked bourbon, Castle and Key is a historic property in Frankfort, Kentucky, and Log Still in Gethsemane, Kentucky. 2022, the sole member joining the craft tour 2022 was Whiskey Thief. That is one of our sponsors, and that was a huge year. They were previously known as Three Boys Farm. They actually changed their name on our podcast, so that was cool. 2023, 4 new members of the Kentucky Bourbon Trail Craft Tour joined the 2023. They are RD1 Spirits in the Lexington Distillery District, which is now their Saturday. I will be at their brand new distillery. So that's pretty cool. Fresh Bourbon in downtown Lexington, Augusta Distillery. We were there with Alex, and she's fantastic, Alec Castle. And that's a great distillery. And the Pensive Distilling Company and Kitchen in Newport, Kentucky. Okay, that's where we are in 2023, 2024. Now, in 2025, let's go to this. This is the Kentucky Bourbon Trail experience now, which is crazy to me because it went to 60, grows to 60 experiences. They added Chicken Cock Distilling in Bardstown. They added Bespoken. They added Girard County Distilling and RD1 Spirit in Lexington. Central Bluegrass Distillers, Heaven's Door Distillery, Larkin Bourbon, Northern Becker and Bird Winery and Distillery, Wenzel Distilling, Buzzard's Roost Spirits in Louisville, Bardstown Bourbon Company Tasting Room, Monks Road Boiler House Tasting Room, which has a steakhouse right there. Whiskey Thief Distilling Tasting Room in Louisville has been added, and then B.H. James Distillers and Southern Kentucky Distillery, Burkesville, coming soon. You've got the Potter Jane coming online too. They're distilling, so there's so many different things. Proud to welcome more than a dozen new experiences to its Kentucky Bourbon Trail Tour, growing opportunities for visitors worldwide to explore Kentucky bourbon and benefiting local communities throughout the state. Since its launch in 1999, the trail adventure has seen tremendous growth, elevating tourism from the entire Commonwealth and consistently breaking attendance records with more than 2.5 million visitors annually. The latest expansion includes new distillery offerings and satellite tasting rooms, bringing the Bourbon Trail to a total of 60 destinations in 27 of Kentucky's 120 counties. The growth is part of the new Kentucky Bourbon Trail campaign that encourages visitors to build your own Bourbon Trail tour. As a bourbon tourism continues to thrive, our members are creating more opportunities for the world to experience the heart and soul of America spirit in a variety of ways that meet every visitor's interest. What began as a small group of distillers has now grown into an ever-expanding bucket list destination with global appeal, she said. Each new edition is more than a stop on a map. It's a celebration of Kentucky's bourbon's rich history and proud heritage. More than 80% of all Kentucky Bourbon Trail visitors come from outside Kentucky. Research shows Bourbon Trail visitors have a much higher household income than typical Kentucky tourists. Trend younger, stay longer, come in larger groups, and spend more money in Kentucky communities. Bourbon is a $9 billion economic and tourism powerhouse for Kentucky, generating more than 23,000 jobs with $2.2 billion in salaries and benefits. The industry continues to break records in aging bourbon barrel inventory 14.3 million, and production 3.2 million barrels filled in 2023. Even as an alcoholic, our beverages are seeing a slowdown in sales. Kentucky DA President Eric Gregory says he does not believe bourbon tourism will be impacted by headwinds like shifts in consumer trends, snowballing taxes, and a threat of regulatory tariffs on U.S. goods. Kentucky is one of the true and authentic homes for bourbon, he said. While we keep breaking attendance records, there are plenty of people around the world who have never made the pilgrimage to the birthplace of bourbon, and many more who are planning the return. It's just crazy. This is one of the cool things. The distilleries, when you click on this, the greatest journey, your bourbon experience awaits. Here's Angels Envy, Bardstown Bourbon Company Tasting Room, Bullet Distilling, Castle and Key, and Evan Williams. But there's 10 more of these. 6 things. The map is just overwhelmed with places to go. So when you go to, you build your own experience. So what it's come down to is that in 2019, I was able to go to the 16, 18 total places. Four Roses, I actually stopped at that place along the way too, but it wasn't on the stamp. But um, it was, what would you say? It's cool that you could get a glass and you could complete it, but now the trail is driving force for fantastic bourbon experiences. So what I mean is things to do. So this is where the fun begins. So right here, they got all the tours right here. Private select tour at Angel's Envy. They've got one bottle of your own single barrels Angel Envy, just Manhattan cocktail class, rye cocktail class, behind the bar cocktail class, signature tour. That's what happens at Angel's Envy. Fill your own bottle, VIP experience at Bardstown Bourbon Company. Bardstown Bourbon Company, Bourbon and Bites. Tour with the master distiller. You visit the site behind the scenes with, looks like that's Nick Smith there. And then you got the Art of Blending tour, shaken and stirred. That's the first of 16. I mean, let's see, smoked old fashioned, bullet mixed and muddled, creative cocktail. So all the distilleries have all the different things. I went down. Whiskey Thief has bottle. It's like their tours and tastings and whatever. So honestly, the coolest thing about this, in my opinion, is that the trail has gone from you trying to complete it to you make your best experience of what you want to do. Now, I don't the reason why I don't think you can complete the trail in the year, it's difficult to go to 60 distilleries in a place that you don't live. Now, if I lived in Kentucky, I might be able to do the 60 distilleries. I would come up with a reason to go to all the different distilleries. You know what I'm saying? I would actually figure out how to go to these different distilleries. And the other thing is that there's a ton of food now. And when you look at this, they actually have it eat and drink. So they all, that is part of the tour too. You are talking about the bars, the cocktail lounge at Green River, cocktails and tasting Wild Turkey, finishing bar at Angel's Envy, Five Brothers Bar at Heaven Hill, George's Bar at Old Forester, gift shop cocktail bar at Lux Row, Mixers Bar at Fort Nelson. So they've got all the different, Overlook Bar at Rabbit Hole. That is a damn good bar. Star Hill Provisions, that I've eaten lunch there. um Taylorton Station at Castle and Key. I mean, that I've had food from there also. The Aquifer Tasting Bar, I was up there at New Riff. The Cocktail Bar at Bullet, have not been there yet. Cocktail Lounge at Woodford Reserve, yes, I've been there. The Garden and Gun Club at Stitzel-Weller, no. But I mean, these are all the different things you can do. They're all there. It's on the website. So if you're planning a trip down, not, and they even have all the different stays. They've got the different places to stay, all the hotels. I didn't see, the Bardstown, the Bardstown, which now has the Trail Hotel, uh, which I'm going to be staying at tomorrow night. So I'm looking forward to that. So there you go. I mean, the Bourbon Trail has completely evolved from something of an accomplishment like getting a badge to creating your own experience, because with 60 distilleries on the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, and that doesn't include Buffalo Trace. Barton's doesn't do tours anymore, but we are going to be podcasting for you on Saturday, or tomorrow from Barton's, Saturday from RD1 Spirits and um, their new place. This is going to be pretty much between 11 and 12 o'clock going live and doing the podcast on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sunday will be Whiskey Thief with Lisa Roper Wicker and Walter Zausch. So that should be pretty cool. And who else? You don't know who else could be on that podcast. So uh, I think that covers the Bourbon Trail for everybody. Anybody listening in, out of other places, make sure that this one, the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, is a good one. It's You go to the website. I believe it's kybourbontrail.com, and you set it all up. I mean, if you know and you listen to the podcast, we talk about the experiences and everything and all the things that you can do. Uh, and I've done a lot of them through the Kentucky Bourbon Festival and the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. So, listen along so that what glass is it, Robert? This is the 2019 completion of the Kentucky Bourbon Trail glass that I got. 16 distilleries, finished 2019, and it's got the Kentucky Bourbon Trail logo plus Kentucky Bourbon. Uh, Very proud of it. And when you're talking about the trail, it's good. I've got some Woodford Reserve from my engraved glass, which was a private batch for the gift shop, which it says, I want to say private selection of Jeff Mueller, September 27th, 2019. So I've got that in there. Well, everybody, I think that does it for tonight. I'm going to, if you stay on Facebook and YouTube afterwards a little bit, on Facebook, I'm going to keep this going just a little bit longer. And I'll send you guys out, whoever's been listening, an invitation to come on. But we're going to finish this up right now. Remember, let's see, I got to remember how I'm doing this. Yeah, okay, I've got it. Let me see. I think it's right here. Oh, right there. All right. So we got to reset it tonight. There we go. I hope it doesn't play. It's not. All right, everybody. Remember www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all things Scotchy Bourbon Boys. You can check out our bios. You can get a t-shirt. You can get a Glencairn like this one right here. And those are sharp. They're available. Contact me directly if you want. And then also remember, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X, right? Still nothing on TikTok because I'm not doing that until it's corrected. But then also we are on all the major podcast audio formats, mainly Apple, iHeart, and Spotify. But no matter how, where you listen to us or watch us, remember, like, listen, comment, subscribe, and leave good feedback. Feedback's very important. And remember, good bourbon, good whiskey equals good times with good friends. Make sure that you drink responsibly, don't drink and drive, and live your life uncut and unfiltered. And we are going to get out of here with the rock and roll. Drinking whiskey on the rocks or sipping on a bar. We love to spend time with our crew. Listen along and find out how that can be you. Spending time with the boys, you don't want to miss us. It's just twice a week. Whether it's Ohio, Kentucky, Milwaukee, or South Carolina, you listen along, let's have a good time. We make sure to leave the bad time behind. Bourbon is the blood that makes a lifelong bond with our friends and neighbors, even some across the pond. I can't wait until the next time we meet, because I'm always looking for the next bourbon. Yes, please, I'll have it neat. So show me the way to another whiskey bar, where it'll be. It won't be too far. With friends and family close, we will never be alone. Remember, the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. All right, we're off audio. Let me just quick get this saved. All right, first I'll send you guys the link because I got to go quick. So let's see how this goes. Boom. Boom. Not schedule. Copy. I'm going to do it this way. There it is. All right. See what you can do. I'll drop this over here. Wait for people to come on. If any, I'm going to go at 9:45 if you guys can't get here quick enough. Thanks everybody on YouTube. I don't know what's going on that it's holding in it. All right. Hey, Randy.
You okay?
I'm okay.
Just want to make sure you could hear me.
I couldn't hear you.
So it looks like we're going to be good to go with Dan Harrison, sounds like.
Yeah.
Going to send you a bottle. I'm so damn jealous. I've been paying $150 for that bottle.
It's kind of how it works, but put it this way. We'll do the podcast and whatever, and then the next time I see you, I'll let you have the bottle.
Okay. Well, you'll just bring it with you because we're doing the podcast from up in Chicago.
Yeah, I can do that.
Because you'll need it.
If I remember.
Don't remember, don't bother showing up for the podcast because you won't have anything to tell.
No, I'm talking about we'll do the podcast. If I remember to bring it with me after the podcast.
You're going to be in Chicago for the podcast, aren't you?
No, Thursday. I'm not there Thursday. I drive Friday morning.
You're going to get up and drive to the ball game Friday morning.
Okay, it's a 1:20 ball game, right?
Correct. Which means you need to be there by 12.
No, I will be there. It's a 5-hour drive, and I will leave my house at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'll be there by 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh yeah, because of the time change. Yeah.
So yeah, and it's a Friday, so that maybe I'll be there at 10 because who knows, right, John?
But you'll still be there early. I mean, reasonably.
Nice fire.
Who's coming in?
John's in.
And so is Walker. That may be my stuff, Pete. It may not be yours.
Walker's not in yet.
So, yes, Walker's name's popped up.
Shower? What? No, I'm getting home from work. I'll be in my office in just a second.
Wait, why can I hear you but I don't see anything?
Well, we see his name.
Not to let you see anything yet.
He's not activated the camera.
Yeah, but we can see his name, or I can see his name on the screen.
Where?
Bottom right on my
Bottom
screen.
right. Yeah, damn it.
You look at
Because I was getting
right under me. Well, it swapped on you right under you on yours.
Walker's gonna do it. Walker, horizontal man.
Okay, I'm working on it.
I did something different today. I bought some of these beads to try to get the air out because I didn't have a lot of my cigar blend left. So I'm trying the bead to see if that helps any.
Helps what?
Keep the air out. In theory, it should be similar to taking an argon gas pump and putting on your bottle.
Okay.
Well, guy does it, and he says it works well.
Are they flavored? Are they flavored beads?
Just glass beads.
They're like rocks, but they're glass.
Yeah, they're glass beads. I washed them, rinsed them off real well, stuck them in there.
It's all about the volume.
Yeah, it's not this air displacement's what it's about.
Yes.
I can displace the air. Just drink
Yeah,
the
well,
rest of
you
the
would
bourbon.
change it. I'll say you displace it with another gas.
I was gonna say, give me a couple burritos, I'll displace a lot.
I gotta pack up tonight. I'm doing, he's like, Randy's like, you're gonna drive? I'm like, I gotta be in Bardstown by 11, and there is no 1 hour backdrop to Kentucky, so I gotta be out of here by 4:45
Right.
because it's about 6 hours.
Yeah, but see, I don't care about that one. I'm not going to be there. I want you to be nice and happy when the Cubs win.
I don't. I'll be nice and happy just being in heaven. I don't care what the Cubs do.
Okay.
Actually, I'm a Brewers fan, so I'm kind of
I
like,
know you are. I know that's what I'm worried about.
they shouldn't be worried about nothing.
Walker, he did give a really good point though. He's going to be with John and me, so he is as close to heaven as he'll ever get on this earth.
Darn right.
That's one way of looking at it. I would be thankful to be with my brothers. I would count it as a preview, Randy, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I would have gone as far as you went. But
Well, I know you. You're more literal than I am, and that's saying something.
sometimes, most of the time.
Well, anyway, so what I'm doing is on the 22nd or 3rd, I'm heading up that direction. I'm going to stop in Tennessee and do my business, pick up a whole bunch of bottles in Tennessee that I've been having held for me that I'll be bringing with me.
Hey, John,
Yes.
let's review what you're going to have for us when we get there. Nash, me. You've picked up a bunch, and how much do I owe you?
We'll work that out when you get here. I got the receipts and everything and whatnot. Don't worry about it. Let's not stress about it till we need to. We're not going to stress about it at all. How's that?
Does anybody?
So I'm going to do the barrel pick on the 25th, and then I'm going to pick my wife up at the airport in Detroit on the 26th. And then I'm going to take her for a couple of days up to Michigan because she's never been to Michigan. I'm going to probably eat dinner with Knob somewhere. He just doesn't know it yet. And then I'm going to bring her back to Chicago. And on the 30th, she's flying home.
She got to work?
She just got a job. She starts on the 1st and she doesn't want to push it.
Gotcha.
So
she's flying home on the 30th. 31st.
How are you getting to Detroit?
I'm driving.
So you technically have to go through Ohio.
Not really. Indiana, you can go Chicago, just take 80-94 right into a.
Yeah, I'll probably go up through Louisville.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Or either that or I'll go up through 75. Does 75 go through? Yeah, 75 goes through Ohio.
I believe it does.
But it's western Ohio. No, I won't either because I'll be in Bardstown. So I will go straight. As a matter of fact, Saturday.
Yeah, you're coming from Florida, right?
Correct.
If you're going through Louisville, you could go No, you wouldn't want to go to Chicago. It's Detroit's on the other side by Toledo. So you are going to come up. You would want to come up 71.
Oh, I'm going up to Starlight for a special drop that they're doing on Saturday morning. And then I'm going from that straight on up to Detroit.
So you're going up to Indiana. So you're going to go past, you're going to go west. You're going to go way west. Correct. And then come back east. Correct. So your way home, you would come.
I have to go to Bardstown.
But
that's where we're doing the barrel pick.
When?
On the 25th.
Okay.
From barrel pick for the festival on the 25th, and then I'm going to go up for the 26th to Starlight for their drop of that special bottle that everybody.
So how are you getting home from Michigan? From Chicago? So you're going
to Chicago from Michigan.
You're going from Michigan to Chicago. Yes, because where Knobs is he's way the hell up at the top of the state on the.
Yeah, I thought he was at because we were thinking about driving up to Mackinac Island. I thought he was up that direction.
Oh,
Yeah.
he is.
Yeah, he's up there.
But he's more west of that though.
Is he?
Yeah.
No.
No, he can't be west of it.
Yeah, he's west.
Well, not real west, but Mackinaw's a little bit more.
It's more
I'm in the
east.
middle of the lake.
You know what I'm saying?
His from Mackinac Island, his Thompsonville is 1 hour.
Oh wow, that's not that bad.
No,
Correct.
I know this because we were going to go to Mackinac Island when I was up there.
My wife asked if we could make a day trip, if it would be possible to make a day trip. I said something about going. She said, "You mean for a day trip?" I said, "Well, we could spend the night on the island and then just make it a 2 day because it's 5 hours up from Detroit to Mackinac is 5 hours, or to Traverse City is 5 hours."
No, it's not that far.
Well, that's what everybody. One thing told me 4. My friend that lived there for 20 years told me 5.
Because Toledo, I go from here to Toledo, which is 2, and from Toledo up to the top of the state is 4. So I kind of go towards Detroit from here, it's 3 hours from here.
Put it in your phone.
I don't need to. I've driven to
I
Detroit.
already did, and I'm not going to argue with you because I'm going to go with what my phone.
It could be no.
Because it's the
3.
definition from the airport with all the city traffic. It would be 4 to 5 hours.
It'll be 4 hours. It'll be 3 hours and 45 minutes to 4 hours. Mackinac, though, Mackinac's a little bit further. You're talking about to Mackinac Island. So yeah, it's about 4 to 5 because it's about another. Like I said, from Thompsonville up to Mackinac Island is about half hour and then a half hour up. So you have another half hour north that you're going to get to Mackinac. Plus, to get to the island, don't you? Is it a bridge or is it a ferry?
Take a ferry, so that's.
Well, that's probably why it's 5 hours because you have.
It tells me I can't get there from there, but
What?
I'm going to put it. It tells me I can't get there, but they're mistaken.
That's why it's 5 hours because of the ferry.
It's 4 hour drive, and then you got the ferry ride over to Mackinac.
There you go. That I'll believe.
I knew if my friend that worked on it for long enough, they'd come up with the answer.
What did I just drink? That's Larrikin.
Larrikin,
Larrikin.
is it the stuff that the guy from Australia makes?
Yeah, it's a Larrikin. When you're a Larrikin,
And I'll trust you on that
I
what?
gotta tell you, fellas,
one.
it was
You were the moon change.
it was finally below 80 degrees for the first time in God knows how long here. That's why I'm sitting outside pulling a fire.
Yeah, it's 73 here, and it's so goddamn humid that it's worse than when it was 90.
Ours blew through, Jeff. I finally opened my house up and turned my AC off. Finally.
My wife tried to let a fly out, and she made me sweat during my workout. I'm like, why? She's like, you're sweating. I'm like, I don't normally sweat like this. And all of a sudden I look at the door and all this humid hot air is coming in.
Yeah, it was humid earlier too, and I debated. I'm like, about 5 o'clock, I said, told my daughter, I'm turning the air off. We're opening up for the night, whatever. It's supposed to be like 59. I'm like, yes. So just get that AC a rest, man. It's
So Robert Brown is still on Facebook, and he asked who's playing. So when we go to the game, it's the Cubs and the Orioles. But I'm going because of Wrigley. He's working the Phillies game tomorrow night. He said, I thought aerating makes the flavor improve, but not his thing was to your beads there, and not that doesn't improve the flavor when it gets too low. And then he was like, oof, that's a drive 4 minutes ago. Yeah, it's a drive.
Yeah, yours is, and so is mine. Mine will be a little over 5, and yours will be pretty close to it. It's like the Mackinac City, which is the jumping off spot to Mackinac Island. It's 4 hours and 6 minutes from the airport.
Randy, when are you getting here? You know what day?
I know I'll be there by the 30th because I'm putting her on a plane on the 30th. I figure I'll be there the 28th or Chicago. Chicago Airport.
O'Hare?
Probably not. Probably Midway.
Midway.
I'm sure. Doesn't. I mean, whichever one. I've got her ticket on
Gotcha.
Southwest, so I'm assuming it's Midway.
Oh, they're going to Jacksonville. Yeah.
I'm gonna
Speaking
take us off. All right. He said, I was wondering about the fire. 80% humidity here, no fire here. Yep, you answered Robert's question. And because there's no humidity and it's cool, so that's good.
He's on Facebook. I mean, on YouTube.
Robert's on Facebook, and he is in the Philadelphia area.
Oh, hey, Robert.
Oh man, Robert, you're roasting out there, man. You're getting what we had. It's moving your way.
You should have just had a storm go through, did you?
Oh God, a lot of water.
I thought you had a bad. Oh, I'm talking to Robert. Just had a bad storm go through. So did you.
All right, I'm going to take us off YouTube real quick.
All right. Those comments you got on YouTube were kind of terrible.
Well, yeah, it happens because it's open. It's an open forum. They're not good people.
sometimes, and oftentimes you don't get whiskey people, and that's a contributing factor to
You
exactly.
do full of bots and idiots too. Not fully, but
Yeah.